Hey, Tiger. Hey, everybody. It's early in the morning. It's 6 something in the morning, and I decided to come out here and just show you how beautiful this garden is, with all the flowers out. And the sun is bright. It's right before it gets hot. It's been getting really, really hot. For this last week, we've been in triple digits here in Southern California in the high desert. So it's been hard to get out here and get video of stuff because of the heat. It's just bad. Look at him. Yeah, baby. You're so cute, Tiger. Anyways, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Keisha, and you are watching my channel, Lakisha Keene Saving Greens, and I welcome you. Look at these mimosas. Today I just wanted to show you a little bit of my garden. I can only do it at little portions at a time because there's so much to show you. And I have so many things growing right now in this small little space. I live in the suburbs. I'm on a 1/4 acre, which includes a house on that 1/4 acre. So I wanted to show you guys. So I planted some corn seed in here, and it's a sweet corn. I planted also some pinto beans and some black beans. So the black beans is planted all in between the corn stalks. See, like, there's one right there that popped up. There's one right there that popped up. With black beans, they don't really need a trellis so much, but they do have these tendrils that tend to climb a little. So if you're growing black beans, you don't have to trellis them with a huge trellis. But I have black beans planted all amongst these corn stalks here, and then once these on this side get tall enough, then I'll go ahead and I'll plant some more black beans in between those. And then this outer edge, I planted pinto beans. So it has pinto beans planted in the outer edge. Look at all these cosmos. Hello, Mr. B. Good morning to you. Yeah, these cosmos are so pretty. I'm really happy with these. I'm going to have to grow cosmos again. They're beautiful. This is my actual first year growing flowers in my garden. I just never thought to grow flowers. I understand the importance of having bees and drawing bees now. But these are so pretty. I can see why people who garden usually have a really beautiful flower garden as well. This is a crepe myrtle. And the bees love it. They're just going crazy. It just started blooming this week. So back over here. Okay, so on this little corner right here, I planted some wheat seeds, and they started popping up, and that's mainly just for my chickens. I'm gonna keep growing them and harvesting the seeds, and until I get a good amount of them, and just feed them to my chickens. And then this one here, that one is a loofah seedling that popped up. And then a cherry tomato. Well, Tiger gets his tail out the way. Cherry tomato that I'm allowed to grow up this arch here. And then in here, I planted, and I don't know if you can see it right here. I planted another loofah seed, and something chewed it down. Mice or a bug. I don't know what. My guess is it was probably grasshopper. I've noticed a lot of grasshopper babies around. And so next to it, I planted a new seed yesterday. So we'll see. And then here I have a birdhouse gourd coming up. I'm just trying to fill this trellis with some shade. So there's another birdhouse gourd planted on this side. It just hasn't germinated yet or sprouted yet. So, and then on this side, I was able to label some stuff, which I feel pretty accomplished by doing. So all along this side of the trellis are cherry tomatoes, and you can see in here that they're doing good. They're getting big. They're getting big, and so they'll be ready for me to start. Well, actually, they're past time, ready for me to start putting them up, tying them up on this trellis. So that's something that I'm gonna do. That's in my to-do list. And I can easily pull those out and still keep this bed covered. I need to keep it covered because, like I said, the grasshoppers are out. But let's see what varieties I have here. So I planted cucumber along this side of the trellis too. So I have a Marketmore cucumber that's gonna grow here. And then this first cherry tomato is black cherry. And then I also planted some rattlesnake beans in between here. And this cherry tomato is sun sugar. And then this one is Brad's Atomic. And then at the end here, the cucumber that's growing here is National Pickling. And then just along the back side of all the tomatoes, I planted some kidney beans. And I planted them there because that's the hardest area for me to reach. Even though this bed is only 4 feet wide and I can easily reach across, it's just more of a challenge for harvesting. So I put the things that don't need to be harvested right away. Like with these kidney beans, I plan on letting them grow to their maturity and dry, so I can have dry kidney beans. So these, you just plant them and forget them, actually. There's nothing more I need to do to them except for watch them grow and let them complete their life cycle and wait for them to start dying off and then dry them. So that's why there's a row of those right in that section there that is going to be harder to harvest from. And then in this middle line going down, I don't know if you can see it, I have sunflowers planted. Here's one here. I have sunflowers planted. I planted some corn as well in here. Now some things I'm gonna have to go back through and reseed because the seeds didn't germinate. For instance, I don't know how long to wait for amaranth, but I planted amaranth in this spot right here, and it hasn't come up, and it's been probably about a month now. So I'm just gonna go through and reseed some stuff. I planted things this season though in the beds to have more of a function. So the corn is to give this bed height along with the sunflowers. But also the corn, as it grows tall right here, that's west, facing that way. So the heat of the day, the corn would be tall enough to shadow over a lot of the things growing. And that also is why I planted a line right down the middle of sunflowers, so that their leaves can kind of shade the rest of the plants that I have planted in here. So, and then plus I planted with certain colors in mind, just trying to see how things would turn out and look, and I think it's gonna work out great. So anyways, this tomato on this side, okay, so I have cherry tomatoes on that trellis. But then I also have this broken up trellis that my husband cut up for me. And so on this side I have larger tomatoes, not cherries, that are indeterminate, that will grow up this trellis. So this one is a green zebra. And then in this bucket here are calendula. My first time growing those, so I'm excited to see it bloom. And then I also planted some zinnia in here. And then I planted some peppers and onions all in between the peppers. So, like for instance, this pepper here is a Jimmy Nardello. And then I have Cubanelle. And then Lakisha. And then Murasaki purple, which is really pretty. It has really dark purple stems. Once everything in here grows well enough, or even outgrows this netting, then I'll take the netting off. And I'll know that my plants will stand a better chance against the bugs like the grasshoppers. And then I have a giant Belgium tomato planted here, and a volunteer sunflower. My guess this one is a a velvet queen that volunteered. And then I have Corno de Toro and a sweet banana and sunbright pepper and a coral bell pepper. And then lastly, a white beauty tomato. And as you can see, there's already some flowers on this one. Some of these tomatoes already have fruit on them. On this side, I have a hollyhock that volunteered. And if you've seen my other video where I sampled and cooked with, I made a French omelet with goat cheese, stuffed with goat cheese and hollyhock flour and nasturtiums, and it was really good. My husband liked it. He didn't realize it was flowers in it. Now see, this one already has a tomato on it, and this is Black Beauty. And then over here I have more peppers. So we have Big Jim, and we have Purple Beauty, and we have Grand Belle, and California Wonder, and my very favorite tomato is Kellogg Breakfast, which is going to be a big orange slicer that's not so acidic, more on the sweet side, which I love sweet tomatoes. So I'm really excited. In fact, I planted 2 of these. This is the second one. A couple of tomatoes I did that with. I planted 2 plants. Everybody else is just a single plant. This one is an albino bullnose pepper, and then a Syrian 3-sided, and a do de Espan. You can see it there. My pronunciation might not be all that great, but and then sweet chocolate. And then this tomato is a Berkeley tie-dye. And then I have milkweed, butterfly milkweed planted here. Hoping that I can lure in some monarch butterflies or whatever types of butterflies I can. Also in this one I have corn planted. I'm going to have to plant some more because not everything came up. And I didn't address this, but I'm using soaker hose in these this year. And then I've also lined all of my beds with this weed fabric, and I burned holes. I have a video on that too, showing you how I burned holes to plant the seeds and stuff in it. But I also planted a line of sunflowers, same as the other bed, just different varieties of sunflower. I think I planted something like 24 different varieties and colors of sunflower this year. So I'm excited to see how they look, which includes 5 big varieties, like Mongolian and Titan and Mammoth, and another one called Skyscraper. But you can see I have onions all planted in here too. And then in this one, you guys, I am so excited for this. Okay, so let me see if I can point it out to you. Right where my fingertip is. Okay, that one. That is a roselle. I am so happy about that because I planted 4 roselle seeds, 2 in this bed, 2 in this bed, and so far that's the only one that's come up. And if you don't know what roselle is, it's called, ooh, sorry Mr. B, I got him all mad. But anyways, it's called Jamaican sorrel. They call it other things, like I believe it's called Florida cranberry. Yeah, I planted that because I want to make some tea with it and try it out. Oh, that was a bumblebee. He got mad. I must have scared him, if that's possible. He scared me though. But anyway, so I planted some squash. That one is a 8-ball squash. And then in the other bed I planted patty pan, yellow patty pan squash. So, and then on this side, the tomatoes, I have cucumbers planted on this side too, and I might have to reseed them because they hadn't come up yet. But I have straight 8 planted here, and this one is a Bosque blue bumblebee. Someone on a gardening group that I'm in wanted to swap some seeds. I think he wanted some of my Yamato cream watermelon seed. And so I sent it to him, and he sent me all these extra seeds that he had. So, including some Thai chilies and some different types of melons, like a pepino melon. And so I'm really happy for that. I'm hoping that everything grows and germinates. So over here on this side, I planted Chinese red noodle bean, and then we have blueberries, which these are cherry tomatoes. The bumblebee is a cherry, the blueberries is a cherry, and then I planted white wonder cucumber here, and then yellow pear tomatoes. And my hopes is that the cherry tomatoes is going to fill these trellises up as well. So I think it will. So over here I have more sunflowers, and you see how big these are? So this one in particular is a Titan. And this one's going to get really tall and pretty. And then this one is a skyscraper. It's my first time growing this one. My second time growing this one. And you guys, I'm going to have to do some research, because a lot of my sunflowers have these brown spots in them. These are maybe a fungus. And if so, I'm going to have to spray them. It's not just on these. It's on a lot of my sunflowers this year. And there's just these big old brown splotches on there. But I have dahlia growing right here in between these sunflowers. And if you guys remember the problems I was having with aphids, well, this is the cabbage that I saved. I cut it way back, and now it's starting to leaf out again and just look really pretty. And I keep spraying it off. And so, let's see, on this side we have, these are birdhouse gourds that came up. So I'm happy about that. And then the cherry tomato over here is black cherry. Now that's the first one that I mentioned on the other side. So like I said, there's a couple of tomatoes that I planted twice, because I'm really excited. Last year when I planted black cherry, the plant that I had died. It had gotten a disease and it died. And so I never got a chance to try those. So I said, okay, I'm going to be sure this year I'm gonna grow 2 plants. Okay, so we have Napa Chardonnay. And then I planted Kentucky Wonder Beans over here. But these died. I don't know, maybe well, I hand water as well as use the soaker hose. Anytime I plant seeds in these beds, I make sure I hand water them until everything sprouts. It could be the heat. I don't know. And then I have loofah planted here, which something chewed one of them down, so I have to replant the loofah. And then purple bumblebee tomato. And then I have gold beets. And then I planted some flowers in here. I don't remember what those flowers are, and I don't have my cheat sheet, and I haven't labeled them yet. And then something was eating down my sunflower right here. And then I covered it with a plastic container, which is by Tiger right now, to protect it from getting eaten all the way down, and then the heat killed it. So I'm gonna have to replant some seeds in there. And then this is another dahlia, but somebody was eating on the leaves, so that's why it's covered. And see, there's more brown spots on this sunflower. And actually, I'm gonna chop this one down with the brown spot on it. I'm gonna chop it down, because I only needed one right here, but I planted more than one seed so that it could stand a chance and grow. And then I have more peppers planted over here. That one is a Zulu. It's gonna be a pretty purple. And then I planted tomato seed right here that hasn't come up yet. This is an orange peach tomato. And then I planted some squash. That one's a squash, and then more beans, and then more sunflowers in the middle. And then I planted okra. So this is my first time actually growing okra. Let me see if it'd probably be better without the screen. Let me go close. There we go. So that little guy right there in the center of the screen, that's okra. There's 2 of them, so I'm about to clip one out. And over here, Same thing. In the middle of the screen, that's okra. There's 2 of them, so I'm going to clip that out. But I tried planting okra last season, and it refused to grow in my soil for whatever reason. And I had to cover this bed because something had chewed this squash plant seedling, and it didn't chew it all the way where it killed the plant, but it chewed enough of the leaves off that I figured I wasn't going to give it a second go. And then we have let's see, this is Bonnie Best tomato here, and some gold beets. Look at these beets though. I can't wait to try these golden beets. And they're pretty big. We have Midnight Dream pepper, yellow monster pepper, and a habanada pepper growing right here in the front. And then this one right here is a Mexican sunflower. So it's going to be a real pretty orange color. That's what I have in these beds. And then over here, I haven't finished planting this yet. But so far, I have my sweet potatoes that I got from my cousin that you saw me plant out here. They're doing good. They went into a little bit of a shock, transplant shock, but they rebounded and they're doing great. So I'm happy for that. And you guys, that's pretty much it for this tour.